So like once upon a time, if you had an MD behind your name, you were ultimately like the authority in health. Doctor knows everything. The dentist knows everything. That was just where you go. Now, some of the biggest health voices on the internet don't even have medical degrees, y'all. They have engagement. This is just what happens when TikTokers are giving nutrition advice and doctors are now rebranding themselves as coaches. Let's talk about it. There's a kind of a rise in the non-traditionally credentialed expert, okay? Right now, this is from McKinsey. The wellness economy right now is estimated at $5.6 trillion globally. And over 70% of Gen Zers prefer to get health advice from y'all, TikTok or YouTube before going to a provider. That is from the Harvard Chan study from school study from 2025. 70% of Gen Zers prefer to get health advice from social media platforms before going to the old school method of going to go see the doctor. Influencers are now co-authoring cookbooks, launching supplement brands, shaping public health opinion, all without traditional licensure or regulation. And you know I'm not knocking the self-healers and the wellness guides. We just have a whole movement where lived experience now rivals and sometimes outweighs institutional knowledge. And y'all, it is working. Doctors are starting to drop the title. What? There's a noticeable trend of medical doctors and nurse practitioners and other licensed professionals intentionally stepping away from the formal titles online. They're choosing to become other things, functional practitioners, holistic healers, and mentors. In many cases, is to escape red tape and to connect more authentically with their people. There was a study done in 2024, 30% of clinicians that are online creating health content no longer lead with doctor or credentials in their public bios. Their username and stuff may say Dr. So-and-so, but they may not lead with that. So they're not just de-emphasizing their title, but they're reinventing themselves. It's weird. It's interesting watching. Not because they're ashamed of their credentials, but because their credentials aren't converting anymore. They don't create the intimacy that's allowing them to connect with your audience. When you're in the online world, specifically, connection is currency. So respect the gap. Is this the reality? Are we just evolving? The hierarchy of who gets believed in health has changed. Oh my goodness. Trust is no longer vertical, doctor, nurses, coach, top down. It's horizontal right now based on the vibe, the relatability, the consistency. But there's a downside, y'all. There's also burnout, frustration, and delusionment. Sometimes among the licensed pros who feel devalued in a system they've spent years to enter. And I hate that. And I don't want this to sting. But if you're a licensed practitioner, you may have felt it. That moment when someone just takes advice from a green juice influencer over your clinical assessment. I know it's more than just annoying, but it's dangerous in some ways. So how do you stand out? What do we do? Because there's room at the table for everyone. I'm a part of amazing communities where everyone sits at the table. I know some bosses out here that have 8-figure businesses that are healing people, that are reversing conditions, and that are well more than an influencer. I know that there's some unicorns out there. They're my clients. I only work with disruptive practitioners from the licensed to the non-licensed. They have to be transformative. So how do you stand out, doc, with all of the noise? Your position in medicine and health and wellness absolutely matters. Here's one thing, double down on education in public, not just patient-facing, but storytelling, your why. Connect with us. Go beyond the white coat. Leverage the trust gap. Most people still want someone with credentials when the stakes are high. It's a fact. So leverage that. Use it as authority. The third thing is build your personal brand because credentials don't go viral, but stories and clarity do. Fourth thing, collaborate across the table. Welcome unlicensed practitioners as allies. Stay rooted in your integrity and expertise and lead from the front. Your new job isn't to defend the white coat, it's to show why it still matters and maybe even show that you can have the coat and the coach vibes and I'm cool and I'm relatable and I'm going through menopause too and I'm a parent too and I'm all the things, right? So as the table gets bigger, that's not a threat, it's a gift. And I want all of us, the doctors, the doulas, the dietitians, the coaches, healers, herbalists, Reiki folks, researchers, the rebels, all eating at it. Health is complex. Healing is collective. So share this episode. I know somebody needs to hear it. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast everywhere that podcasts are available. Follow me also on Instagram at I am Lauren Powers. I dropped some bombs today, some things to think about. I want you to double down on education, leverage the trust gap, build your personal brand, and collaborate. The time is now. Let's rise. Let's go together. All right. See you next week on the next episode of Power Moves, y'all. We out of here. Bye.